Welcome to Hawaii, one of the most sought after vacation destinations in the world, and for good reason. This collection of islands is known for its beautiful beaches, magnificent mountains, and abundance of wildlife and plants not seen elsewhere. For nature lovers like us, it is truly heaven on earth, which is why we finally made it a point to visit this Pacific paradise and embark on the adventure of a lifetime. This is part 3 of our Hawaii vlogs, which recaps the last 3 days of our trip, where we explore some of the most beautiful locations on Oahu and challenge ourselves to the most difficult and dangerous hike we have ever attempted. If you're looking for the best resorts and shopping on Oahu, this video may not be for you. But if you're like us and want to get off the beaten path and explore the real beauty of this island, then look no further and come along with us as we explore the wild side of Oahu. So after spending a few days on Kauai, we took a short flight back to Oahu where we would finish our Hawaii trip. We wanted to waste no time, so we immediately started with a hike and headed out to Kailua Point Trail on the western tip of Oahu. This trail is around 6 miles round trip. However, due to a road closure at the time, we had to park a half mile away, which added about an extra mile on. The trail is pretty flat the whole way though, so it's not too difficult and would make a really good hike for families or those just not looking for something strenuous. Make sure to pack sunscreen and lots of water though, because there's practically no shade and it can get quite hot, especially later in the day. The hike is absolutely worth it though, as it provides gorgeous ocean and mountain views pretty much the entire way. It looks like something straight out of a postcard. You'll also find lots of beautiful wildflowers, trees, and plants along the hike, so there is lots of nature to enjoy and see. Towards the end of the trail, you're going to come to a large fence and gate blocking your way. And although it seems like this would be off limits, the trail actually continues through the gate, so don't stop here. This begins Kailua Point Natural Area Reserve, which was created to preserve sand dunes for native plants and birds. The final stretch of the hike takes you along this sandy beach and provides the most incredible view of the nearby mountains. Eventually, you will reach Kailua Point, where you will be rewarded with a picturesque view of the ocean with the mountain rising above it. Talk about an epic view. Once here, you'll also find this really cool concrete pillbox covered with graffiti that provides a spectacular vantage point, take in the surrounding splendor. Overall, if you get a chance to fit this hike in while visiting Oahu, you will not be disappointed. After hiking Kailua Point, we made our way over to the north side of the island to check out the world famous North Shore. No visit to North Shore is complete though without a stop at the local favorite, the Sunrise Shack. This small roadside food stop was started in 2016 by some local surfers and has since grown to an extremely popular and Instagrammable food destination known for its healthy and delicious food and bullet coffee. We tried the monkey bowl, avocado toast, green-eyed love smoothie, and some bullet coffee, and everything was on point. We also love the laid-back and chill vibe of the shack. Trust us, you definitely don't want to pass this place up. From here, we made our way over to the beach to relax and soak up some sun. The beach on North Shore is absolutely beautiful, but just know it's not a great spot for swimming due to its powerful waves and shore break. If you just want to relax and watch some surfers though, there is no better spot. After bumming it at the beach, we made a quick stop at a roadside fruit stand where we got some fresh coconut and local fruit. Everything here was super fresh and incredibly sweet and well worth the stop. From here, we then headed back towards Waikiki to meet up with our friend Vanessa for a sunset sailboat cruise. After hiking pretty much all week long, this was a nice change of pace as it allowed us to just sit back and relax as we took in the breathtaking views of the Waikiki skyline and the fading sun. I'll put a link below of the boat we booked through in case you want to book a cruise yourself. We highly recommend it though because the views and vibes are next level. After returning to shore, we grabbed a lava flow pina colada to really get the Waikiki experience. This was, after all, our only time in Waikiki during the entire trip, so we felt a visit here just wasn't complete without an over-the-top fruity cocktail, and honestly, it was really good. Overall, Waikiki was beautiful, and it was nice to see firsthand, but it was a little too crowded, busy, and expensive for our taste, so we didn't stay long before heading out to grab a quick bite from down-to-earth organic grocery store and to prepare for the next day's epic adventure. All right, it's our last full day here in Hawaii. A little sad to be leaving, but we're gonna finish it off on an epic hike. We are doing the Olamana Trail, also known as Three Peaks. It's about a little over 4 miles total. It's supposed to be fairly strenuous, and at points you're literally climbing up the side of a mountain pretty much, kind of scrambling. There's ropes you got to pull yourself up and down with. So it should be a lot of fun, and the views are supposed to be spectacular. Hopefully it'll be clear up there, but either way, should get some really cool video footage. And yeah, we're excited. So let's go get started. And so our journey began. Now, I already made a full video detailing this entire hike, so this will be the abridged version. However, I recommend to check that video out after if you haven't yet seen it because it's pretty epic. I'll put the link below. Here's what you do need to know about the Olamana Trail though. It's better known as Three Peaks and is one of the most difficult and dangerous hikes in Hawaii. As the name suggests, it takes you up and down 3 different mountain peaks and requires lots of class 3 and 4 scrambling, which means you will be climbing up and down extremely steep sections of rock using just a rope. This is not your normal walk through the woods. A slip up could literally mean a 400-foot drop to the rocks below, which is why there have been several fatalities on this hike in the past few years. Due to this, I would not recommend this hike unless you are an experienced hiker, and even then, do not take it lightly because it was way more challenging than we expected. That said, the views are extraordinary and totally worth it if you're up for the challenge. The first mile or two is an uphill climb through a beautiful tropical forest and is mostly shaded, which is nice. It's a pretty much constant climb though as you make your way to the first peak, so it will definitely get your leg muscles burning. Eventually, you will reach the first of many rope climbs where it really starts to get tricky. From here, it's not too much further to the top of Peak 1 where the tree cover opens to reveal this breathtaking view of Peak 2 and 3 out in the distance. Keep in mind that each peak becomes progressively more difficult than the last, so if anything, you can always stop and turn around after reaching the first summit. You still get an incredible view from here without having to continue on to the more treacherous and dangerous second or third peak. We, however, were determined to complete this entire hike, and so we continued on. After passing the first peak, the trail becomes much more exposed and has you literally walking along what feels like a knife's edge. There are also very sketchy climbing sections where you are rappelling practically straight up and down 50 plus feet of rock. I normally don't have any fear of heights, but there were several points on this hike where even I was quite nervous and sketched out. The landscapes and vistas throughout this section though were truly unlike anything I've ever seen. After several hours of grueling ascent, we finally reached the final summit and were able to etch our names in the book of finishers at the top of Peak 3, and this felt amazing. From here, you can continue to climb down a small ladder to the backside of Peak 3, where you truly feel like you're on the edge of the world. I think it goes without saying that this hike was extremely difficult, but also extremely rewarding. And it may be a little cliche, but this was just another reminder that the most difficult paths often lead to the most beautiful destinations. So whether you're climbing a mountain or maybe just going through a rough patch in everyday life, keep going, because in the end, the view from the other side will always make the difficult journey worth it. We stayed on this mountain peak for a while, just taking in the beautiful landscape and enjoying the serenity and solitude that one finds alone on a mountain. Part of the reason we took this trip in the first place was to escape the craziness and stress of everyday life. And sitting here on a mountain peak amongst the sounds of nature is just what we needed to recenter ourselves and reflect on what's truly important in life. I honestly could have stayed up here all day soaking in nature's beauty, but we had a long hike back to the car, and at this point we were getting quite hungry. So we took one last look out before starting the long trek back home. The trip back was slow and exhausting, but we pushed onward, motivated by the thought of a hot shower and a delicious dinner waiting for us when we got back. So for dinner, we headed out to Tane Vegan Izakaya in Honolulu. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but this restaurant is entirely plant-based and specializes in Japanese cuisine and sushi. They had me at vegan sushi. Here we started off with a little edamame, miso soup, and sake, because we did have to celebrate completing Olamana, of course. We were now ready for the main course, where we feasted on a variety of sushi, nigiri, and ramen. Now, we visited a plethora of delicious restaurants throughout our 9 days in Hawaii, but I must say, of everywhere we ate, this was my favorite. Everything here, from the food to the atmosphere, was amazing, and the presentation was fire, literally. It was even a big hit with our friend who is not vegan, and I would highly recommend this place to anyone visiting Oahu. Keep in mind, it is quite popular, so dinner reservations are recommended. We also love that they had a Polaroid camera on deck, so you can actually add your picture to the wall of guests, which was really cool. After leaving the restaurant, we stumbled across a group of locals practicing fire spinning and poi, so we sat down to watch the free show, which was really entertaining and made me totally want to try fire spinning now. While watching the spinners, I couldn't help but be a little sad that this was our last night in Hawaii, since we're flying back to Florida tomorrow afternoon. But looking back on our final full day of epic adventures, delicious food, and good friends, I couldn't think of any other way I would have wanted to spend it. Our final day in Hawaii was a short one, since sadly we were flying out later that evening, so we decided to just have a chill day, which involved more good food and catching some rays at the beach. We started off by visiting the local farmers market in the morning to get some breakfast. We love visiting our farmers market back home in Lakeland, and it's always fun to check out new markets when traveling and also help support small businesses. This farmers market in Oahu was pretty awesome. It had tons of local fruit and delicious smelling food. They also had lots of plant-based options as well, which made it difficult to choose only a few things to try. We ended up getting a variety though, including mini donuts, spring rolls, soup, and handmade mochi. It was a great time all around and left us very full and satisfied. After leaving the market, we wanted to visit the beach one last time and maybe do a little snorkeling as well, so we headed over to Electric Beach. This is supposed to be one of the best snorkeling spots in Oahu due to its close proximity to a power plant, which warms the surrounding water and attracts lots of sea life. We swam out to the reefs and saw some really cool fish and coral, but the real treat came when we came across this beautiful sea turtle who swam right next to us. It was an incredible experience that we will never forget and a perfect way to end the trip. At this point, it was sadly time to pack our bags and head to the airport for the flight home. As we drove to the airport though, we were sent off with one final parting gift, a gorgeous sunset reflecting through the falling rain. Well, that wraps up the last of our Hawaii travel vlogs. We had the most amazing time on this trip, and we hope you enjoyed coming along on the journey with us. We truly believe that traveling is one of the best ways to grow and learn, and hope that maybe we can inspire some of you to get out and explore this beautiful world of ours. We know this is only the beginning of our travel adventures and have lots more planned in the future, so feel free to subscribe if you want to come along with us to wherever the road leads next. Thanks again for watching though, and until next time, aloha.